I've helped over 800 people buy property, and here's what actually matters. After helping more than 800 people buy property, I've noticed something very, very consistent. The people who build wealth don't usually pick better properties. They simply start earlier than everyone else. Not because they had more money, not because they understood the markets better. They just made the decision to begin before they felt completely ready. And that matters more than almost any property choice you'll ever make, because property rewards time in the market more than a perfect purchase. Warren Buffett had a very, very famous line. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. Property works very, very similarly. The earlier you start, the more time does the heavy lifting for you. Most first-time investors worry about interest rates and market timing and choosing the wrong property. But those aren't usually what stops people financially. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 factors that actually determine whether someone moves forward or stays stuck. And the first one has nothing to do with property itself. Because the biggest mistake first-time investors make isn't buying badly. It's actually just waiting for the perfect condition. The first factor that actually matters is timing in your investing life, not timing the market. Most first-time investors are trying to answer this question: is now a good time to buy? But that's actually the wrong question. Property markets don't move slowly. They move in cycles. So whether you enter before growth or after, it changes what you can afford for years and not months. People think the biggest risk is buying at the wrong time. In reality, the bigger risk is delaying long enough that growth actually happens without you in it. I see this constantly. Someone spends 2 or 3 years trying to be certain. They save more, they research more, they wait for conditions to feel safer. Then they finally buy, but by then, the same type of property they were originally considering is significantly more expensive, and their borrowing power hasn't kept up. Nothing went wrong, they just started a few years too late. Let me show you what that actually looks like in dollar values. Imagine James and Judith, they're ready to invest, but nervous about timing. So they decide to wait 5 years and save a bigger deposit first. Another couple instead buys a $500,000, $600,000 property today. Fast forward 5 years, the property grows at 6-7% a year and is now worth $670,000. That's roughly $170,000 in equity. They didn't save it. They owned an asset that just grew. James and Judith did the responsible thing. They saved $400 a week for 5 years, and that's just over $100,000 saved. But when they finally enter the market, the same property is now $670,000. They now have a bigger deposit, a large loan, and the next purchase is delayed as well. Nothing bad happened to them. They just waited. This is what property rewards: participation more than preparation. Your first property isn't meant to be perfect. Its job is to start the timeline. Here's a rule. You don't build wealth from the first property itself. You build wealth from what the first property allows you to do next. Think of the first property less like the destination and more like the engine that starts the journey. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to get you moving and get you into the market. Factor number 2 is borrowing capacity. The second factor that actually matters is borrowing capacity, not the purchase price. Most people think that the challenge in property investing is saving the deposit. But in practice, the bigger limitation is what the banks will actually lend you after you buy. Because property investing isn't about affording one property, it's about whether the first property allows you the second property, and then the third, and then the fourth. Let me show you why. 2 people start in the same position. Both have $100,000 deposit. One buys a house for $500,000, the other buys a cheaper apartment for $360,000. The apartment feels safer. The repayments are lower, and the rent almost covers the mortgage. The house costs more to hold each month, so on paper, the apartment looks like the smarter decision. Fast forward 5 years, the house grows at 7% per year and is now worth roughly $700,000. That's $200,000 in equity. The apartment grows at 5% per year and is now worth roughly $460,000. That's $100,000 in equity. Both owners bought property. Both made repayments, but one now has double the amount of equity that the other doesn't. Banks lend based on usable equity. The house owner can often now fund another purchase. The apartment owner usually still needs years more of savings or extra equity. So one investor can buy again, the other has to wait. Your first property has a very specific job. It's not to feel comfortable, it's to move your financial position forward. Here's the rule. The best first investment is the one that keeps you investable. So actually continuing to be able to move. Super important. Factor number 3, supply and demand. The third factor that actually matters is the supply and demand, not headlines. Most people decide when to buy based on how the market feels. If the news sounds negative, they wait. If interest rates rise, they wait. If prices have just grown, they wait. If government introduces a new policy or tax, they wait. They're trying to wait for certainty. But property prices aren't driven by confidence. They're driven by imbalance. When more people need housing than there are homes available, prices move regardless of sentiment. People are still forming households. Families are growing. And here's something many buyers don't realise. A large portion of migrants who arrive in Australia, they can't actually purchase property for several years after arriving, which means they rent first. Every year, new renters are entering the market, regardless of whether buyers feel confident or not. Housing demand keeps building quietly in the background. That's why people say, I waited because the market felt risky, but prices still rose. Nothing strange happened. Supply was just tight and demand was high. Economist Thomas Sowell wrote, "The first lesson of economics is scarcity. Housing markets are no different. When more people need homes than homes available, prices move, regardless of how confident buyers feel." Here's the rule. Property doesn't reward perfect timing. It rewards being positioned before demand becomes obvious. Which brings me on to factor number 4, which is behaviour. The final factor that actually determines whether someone builds wealth isn't knowledge, it's behaviour. Almost nobody fails at property investing because they didn't understand it. They stop because they become uncomfortable. A maintenance issue, an interest rate change, a vacancy. Financially, these are usually manageable. Emotionally, they feel big. I've seen this pattern repeat many times. Two people can buy a similar property in similar markets. One continues investing, the other stops after the first one. The difference isn't income, it isn't intelligence, it's expectations. If someone waited years to buy their first property, they expect it to feel safe and predictable, but investing never feels safe, never completely safe. There will always be a level of uncertainty. There will always be news suggesting you should wait. There'll always be reasons why you should not be investing. I learned this personally. My first 3 investment properties were mistakes. I wouldn't recommend buying them the way I did, but starting early meant I learnt earlier. Because of that, now in my early 30s, I've built up a property portfolio that's very soon going to be coming up to $10 million, which is just crazy to think. Not because I got the first property perfect, because I didn't wait to start. I started at 18 years old. There's an observation often attributed to Mark Twain. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. Investing feels risky before you begin, but most of the fear people carry exists only before the first step. Confidence in property doesn't come before investing. It comes after experiencing it, after your first repair, after your first refinance. That's when it feels real. Here's the rule. You don't wait for confidence to invest. You gain confidence by investing. When you put all of this together, the pattern becomes very, very clear. People rarely struggle financially because they choose the wrong property. They struggle because they delayed starting. They were waiting for lower rates, more certainty, and a better time. But property markets don't offer perfect entry points. They reward time. The investors who move forward are not the ones who predicted the market correctly. They're the ones who position themselves early enough to benefit from it. Instead of asking, is now the perfect time to buy? A better question is, am I financially ready to begin? Perfect timing doesn't exist. Workable timing does. If this helped you understand what actually matters when starting, the next question becomes, what should you actually buy first? I've made a video explaining exactly how to choose the right property and the common mistakes first-time investors make. I'd strongly recommend watching that next before you make any decision. I'll put it up here for you on the screen somewhere for you. And once you have clarity, no pressure, just clarity. And once you have clarity, decisions become easy. Your success.